Hey there guys, my name is Butter Biscuit. Welcome. This is my video of Nomoria. I'm just gonna start out and you guys hopefully will enjoy coming along with me. Um, Maybe you won't, maybe you will. I sure hope you do. But yeah, so first things first, I just like to get kind of a small piece of land going. I don't really need the whole map cleared just yet. And in the beginning, I want to forage everything I can, but I really need the trees to be gone. I need as much of this land as I can get. Um, so I don't really care about foraging the trees for their fruit. I'm going to be planting and making camps, or lumber camps, I guess you'd call them, for that. So you guys will be able to see that. Um, and I also want to replace the floor with soil. I don't really have any dirt yet, so I'll have to get back to that. And then I really want to get to my mines. I want to get down underneath and start mining. Of course, all the corners. I like to pick a corner for a staircase. I don't really know why, but I do. I always have. So yeah, I want a little bit of dirt right now, so I can start getting everything underway. And I need these trees gone so that I can eventually get these yaks into a sort of a farm, um, and that that way they don't die, and I can start feeding them. They'll start producing milk. I don't really particularly like to make a well. I used to when I first started playing Nomoria, um, but I don't really care for it anymore. No, I guess no real particular reason other than um, it doesn't really help. I mean, it helps for the short term, but not much after that. Uh, but it takes about the same amount of time really to make a well as it does to make uh, a distillery, and you don't need your wheat really for anything um, other than making getting some alcohol, some beer, because gnomes apparently love beer. I didn't know that until I started playing this game, but they do apparently. I'm just gonna replace the whole floor. This is kind of a I don't want to say two-pronged reason. It's actually a multi-reason. My builders, I don't want them being idle. It starts lagging your computer if your gnomes are idle. Happens to almost everybody. But the big thing is I want this clay floor. I can't have clay floor. I can't really do anything with it. Um, so I want to replace the clay floors. Instead of spending time trying to find every little piece of clay floor and maybe missing one, having to replace it later, I'm just going to have them do the whole land. I'm also doing it while I'm clearing the trees and the foraging, so they don't have to replace the land that the trees are on. Any land that the trees are on won't be part of the task that I've given them. And the other thing that I really want is for them to start building and replacing floors that'll increase their skills. So if you don't really know much about the game, I can look at these people and I see all of their skills. So if I hover over, so that was for their fighting, and I have it on peaceful. Not a big fan of the fighting part of it, but a lot of people do like it. But I'm not a big fan. Um, Also, for some disclosure, I'm using I think it's Skinner's Family Mod is what it's called. It's got like four different mods in there. Some glass, new trees, I think, some new workshops. I think there's a trading one, makes it a little better for trade. Those are free to use. Nomoria just released an update a few weeks back, giving access to those. So anyway, I want their construction to be going up. And I'm also going to change the builder thing. The builders, they're also going to be my masons and my carpenters. For now, I can always change it later. The reason I want that is I'm going to start making like a workshop and building some stone and stuff. And I don't want to take my woodcutters and my miners away from doing that. Um, so that will allow them to focus on mining, getting all the materials I need to get all this stuff done. I'm having them mine this area out so I have some dirt to play with. I can also start a stockpile so we can start putting some stuff down. But yeah, and then overall I want them to go down because I actually want stone. I need stone in order to make my first workbench. I'm already at stone. Just found some right here. I have some granite. So that's all I really needed from that. And now I'm able to build my first workshop, my crude workbench. I need any raw stone and any log, and I don't really care particularly what it looks like. So that's there now. When the builders are done replacing all this floor, look at how much, they've already done all this work. So I really don't have to worry about it. If they dig up one piece of dirt and they'll dig up one piece of dirt and then replace or take that new piece of dirt they dug up and replace the next one. So it goes really fast. It's not really that big of a waste of time. And like I said, I don't really have anything going on because I still need all these trees chopped down so I can start my farms, which haven't been really started yet. So that's that really. I'm gonna set this up as a stockpile. I pretty much again am creating a stockpile so people will not be idle and doing nothing. When I have less people, like right now, it's not that big a deal. But as I get more gnomes, it actually becomes a really big issue and it lags the computer a lot if people are idle. So I want a stockpile so by default, a big stockpile so by default they have something to do. They're cleaning up all this dirt, they'll grab all the stone from below, and eventually they'll start getting, they'll start picking up the logs that are up here too. As I start progressing and start building workshops and other sort of things, I will eventually get them to have stockpiles next to the workshops that they need to be next to, and not just kind of left randomly. But the first part of this game is very important. They start you in spring for a very particular reason. There's 12 days per season, and they want me to build up my farms before winter hits. And winter, so obviously spring, summer, fall, and winter. Spring and fall, as far as I can tell, are about the same for growing like trees and growing plants. They grow at a regular speed, if you will. And during the summer, they grow at an accelerated speed. So I want my farm set up and planted before summer so my farmers can just start cranking out as much food and wheat as I can get them to crank out as quickly as possible. So with that, winter, the big reason I'm trying to hit that before winter is winter, nothing grows. So imagine I have 10 food before winter and, they eat, one food a day. They're already starving day 2. And so day 3, day 4, day 5, day 6, they're starting to die, and I really don't want them to die. Obviously, the main part of this game is not letting your guys die and building up a kingdom. And like I said, you can have them fight as well. I'm not a big fan of that whole aspect of it, but it is an aspect that does exist. I'm just gonna mine out, get some raw stone going. So we have it, so my miners will eventually, whenever they're done doing whatever they were doing, will come down here and start mining my walls for me. And I'm just down here trying to get stone, and eventually I want some metal and some gems. So that's just, just in case you guys haven't seen the game, I'm just giving some kind of tips. I'll also be kind of pausing in the middle of my Let's Plays and creating some tutorials. Not necessarily like full-on tutorials, but just kind of like, hey, this is how I build my lumber camp. It's worked out for me. It works really well. I'm almost never out of wood unless I'm just constantly using it for something. But even then, it kind of keeps up really well. I will also make some for farms, just kind of my take on what's important, how much you really need for each farm. And yeah, so those will be coming in the future. Right now, I just need these trees just gone. Once the trees are gone, I will really be making my farms and get everything going. Um, so yeah, I think that's a new tree. One of the amber was in that mod that I was talking about. So that's pretty cool. I'll get my farm set up, and then eventually, when my builders are done, they'll start making this crude workbench. That'll lead me to I can show you guys all of these different workshops that I'm gonna need. I'm gonna need pretty much every one of them. The only ones I won't need so much are the armor and the weaponsmith, and the last one is the training grounds I won't need. So I probably will build them anyway, just because I kind of build everything. I get mindless in building them and just do it. But first and foremost, I need these trees gone. I need the floor replaced and focus on that. My first, the first thing I would tell you to worry about, as anybody, is getting your farm set up. So if you get lucky and you don't have that many trees, just cut the trees down, get them out of the way. I could theoretically make, what I can do is I can take a farm. So I will do it. So I hit farm, and I can actually do. I like to do 10 by 10, so I can just get it set up now. And okay, let's make this my strawberry farm. So the big thing is you need to have fruit. So they started me off with strawberry, which actually in the default game is the only fruit for default. But as you can see, there's other ones. There's kiwi that I can do as well. So I'll get some kiwi going down. And like I said, I like to make it 10 by 10. That's just what I like to do. Now the cool thing is, I think if I do so, now that I started this farm, I can just keep hitting farm as long as I continue clicking on the beginning of where, or one of the pieces where I had the farm. It'll continue the farm, and it's all one big farm still. So it doesn't. I don't have to, start all over and choose what I want to put there. So I kind of makes it mindless in a way. I can just keep doing it, and it'll keep being a farm for what I need. So I can get those down right away. Now the thing is I like to do 10 by 10. It's not necessary, but you don't really need more than I would say 3 food plots. After your 3 food plots, you're done. For what I've noticed, as you get more gnomes, you might need more food plots, but I really don't think you will. You'll have such a stockpile it won't matter. The other thing that I do is I make sure that the priority is set to 1 for these. On all my food ones. The food is number 1, because you need to have as much food as you can get in the beginning, in my opinion. So that's just where I personally draw the line, I guess, is make sure that I have food. And then I want to get some. I want to get some sort of. Oh, they have grape. I didn't know that. So cool. I got started with grape. Cool. Well, either way, I'll have those farms set up, and this is just kind of what I think is important. Now, I have a mod. In the beginning, you only have wheat. There's only wheat, cotton, and strawberry. That's it. And I got all these other things, so I'm just gonna make farms for them because I can. I don't really need them probably, but I'm gonna build them anyway. I got the mod for it. Why not? So I got those farms. I'll just let those sit there. I'm still mining down here. So you see I found a bunch of gems, and I found some copper ore and some coal. And I'm going to need all that later on in the game. But for right now, I don't really need it. And just before I end this video, I'm just going to start building some of the workshops I'll need. And I'm just going to put them anywhere. I will eventually break them down. And I will get them in a place that makes more sense. I like to have a building that they're in. But I just want them down right now, so I have them. So these are the 4 that are very important right now. I need to have a stone cutter, and a stone mason. The stone mason will make stuff later, but I'm already making a stone cutter. I need those blocks. And then I need a distillery, because if my drink hits 0 before I get a distillery, we're gonna have a big problem. And then on top of that, I also need to have a carpenter to start making the things to make these eventually. So the crude workbench can make the workbench, the chair, and the chisel. So some of these will be able to be made, but for the distillery, I need barrels, which I do. You start with barrels, but I don't think that you can actually use those for it. But nonetheless, I will have them making all this stuff in the workshops, and they'll be making it. So that's it for now. I will be back in episode 2. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you have any questions or comments, anything you'd like to see, or anything like that, please feel free to leave a comment below. And you can also find me on Twitter and Instagram. No, not Twitter. Yeah, no, I have a Twitter. Twitter, Instagram, and Tumblr. So yeah, thanks guys.